All right, welcome back to the second episode of the Nick St. Millan Show. We're back again I'm back again with Kennedy Lambert.
Well, we're both here, but
buddy. Yeah, I had to move around a little bit, and hopefully we'll get a little bit better audio and all that this time. But that'll get better each time. I'm not worried about that. What I wanted to start with just like what are some current things that are going on that interest you? Because I know that definitely have a couple right off the top of my head, but I want to give you the chance.
Oh, well, I think that there's a pretty easy one right off the bat. It's super current, super hot button, and pretty much everybody's talking about it right now. And there's a lot of even some variables that have come up within the last few days, which I think make the situation even a little bit more interesting. But we just had the first presidential debate last week.
Yes.
That is something that is going on right now, and everyone is talking about it. So we might as well talk about it a little bit too. What did you think about the presidential debate, man?
Did you watch it?
I watched nearly the entire thing. There were a couple parts I wasn't super interested in, but I was watching pretty much the whole thing.
What did you watch it on?
Television. I think it was
channel.
I think it was MSNBC. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I think that's the only channel it was on, though.
My goodness. Do you have anything playing in your background?
Playing in the background?
Yes, I'm sorry.
It's on really low.
No. Mine was on 5 last time. Yes.
5?
Yeah, no, it was on 5 last time. It was picking up the whole time. Mute.
Oh, well,
has to be.
Okay. It is gone. It's gone.
So, you watched it on what channel?
It was, I believe it was MSNBC, but I don't think they were showing it on any other channels. I'm pretty sure.
I watched a live stream on Louder with Crowd. They did a live stream on it. So,
how was that?
Well, so I didn't obviously see the whole debate. It's not. They kind of were like talking over it. You know what I'm saying? A live stream.
Yeah.
So, but I did. I don't know. I feel like I listened to several other podcasts, like the Useful Idiots one that they had was good, and basically everybody was saying the same thing. I got nothing from it, man. Maybe
absolutely zero.
Basically, I mean, it was like the moderator really did not do his job. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that it's like tough to take care of old Trump. He's wild, but like, come on, man. And you could tell that he's like feeding Biden this and that, and then Biden said that he doesn't. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that I got nothing. I got exactly what I thought I was going to get. I should clarify. Like Trump shot off a couple with, like when Biden said he flipped within like 30 seconds of the Green New Deal, like in the same sentence, and then and he was like, ho, and then I will say, like, one of the things that the left or whatever talk about, like, oh boy, the Pod Save America was loving this one. But the whole, like, man, the whole white supremacy thing, like,
people took that and ran with it, man.
That is so crazy. Like, because if you watch the clip, dude, he said nothing like that. He was like,
dude,
okay, I'll put it in my words. He's like, yeah, sure. Who do you want me to say? Yeah, everybody chill out. That's all he's saying. Like, that's all. Give me a name. Proud Boys. Yeah, chill out. Everybody chill out. That's all he's doing.
Here's the problem with that is that
and they try to say that because he said like sure, and then like blah 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 and dodge whatever, but like the clip was literally just him in like a routine going like, tell me who to say. I don't care. Everybody chill out. We're chilling.
I think that was like Trump's biggest problem that entire debate was that that came up kind of quick, kind of hot. And that was one of those moments in the debate where it was literally Trump, Biden, and the moderator all trying to talk over each other at the same time. So you could barely understand what was happening anyways. They were trying to get him to denounce the group Proud Boys, which is, I guess, supposed to be a white supremacist group. And that's one of the clips that was taken out of that was used against Trump very heavily this past week, because he kind of stuttered in his words a bit. He started off by saying "stand by," and then immediately like cut himself off and went straight to "stand down, Proud Boys." And before he could even finish the sentence, the moderator was like, "All right, moving on. We're done with that." Like as soon as he got that little clip, that little snippet, it's almost like they were trying to bait that something like that out of him. And as soon as he got what he thought he wanted, like it cut the clip and moved on to the next question. That's like one of the big things you saw on social media this week is people were like, wow, he wouldn't even denounce a white supremacist group whenever if you actually watched and actually had the context of the conversation, that's what he was trying to do, but they totally took that quote unquote stand by quote that he I think he sort of misspoke, maybe not, I don't know. But
you got, man. I mean, you gotta.
One of those.
There's got to be some skill. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be some people skill when you're listening to people. I mean, good grief. You know, we have seen this guy nonstop. Everybody shows him nonstop for the last 3 years. So, like, can we take him at transcript? No. Like, good grief. And you shouldn't take anybody. You shouldn't take anybody at transcript, especially
if it's out of context.
Yeah, and that's the point of kind of what we talked a little bit about last time was if you're watching the same things like or one type of thing like CNN, you will never see like that, like what you just said. You'll see only
you're only going to see one perspective.
Only the white supremacy thing, crazy thing. And
not to mention you're going to see the perspective out of a political spyglass that is literally the topic is here. The topic is out here. And that political spyglass, whether it's coming from the right or the left, dwindles all of that space down to right there. So it's literally like you're just looking through one small hole of the greater subject that it is.
Yeah.
Especially if you're looking at it through the news like that.
And yes. And like to add on, I guess, it's another thing of kind of what we talked about last time. Like, if you're only watching one, right, you're only going to get that one perspective. But there is a difference. Okay. And I'll tell you this, I listen to like podcasts all day and things like that all day or whatever. And, music much less nowadays. It's just kind of what it is. But anyways, man, like you listen to the people on the left and you're going to get that one-sided perspective. And then if you listen to anybody on like let's say like the disaffected left, right? Like those like Dave Rubin types who are like lefties, but like they're mad at the way the Democrats are going now and all that, or a right wing, or literally anybody, like yourself, right? Just an average thinking person, like, common sense type. Anything that you watch is going to give you both of those perspectives. Is like it, like, or is going to give you. It's going to say this is what they tried to say, right? And then they're going to say, and this is what actually said. And the left will do that a certain type of way, but in a way of like totally just curveballing it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, they'll do exactly what.
And sometimes you'll only get like what you just said. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, like it's what you're saying. It's they'll take something that's at its factual basis of the transcript, and they'll take it and they'll only take the parts that they want to show to people, and then they'll spin it however they want, and people will just eat it up because it already aligns with what they were already believing anyways. And people will very rarely go out and go straight to the actual source. They'd rather be fed the source by someone else. But I mean, the source sort of becomes contaminated whenever that's how you get all of your information.
Well, it's hard to listen to a bunch of different things too, and then also like some people really aren't aware, like because like I said last time, it used to not matter. It used to not matter. You used to just watch, dude, like CNN or Fox based off of like nothing. I don't know. Like what like what was it? It was basically like whatever you felt like. You know, that's how I feel.
Polarized. It seemed less polarized.
Some people just if people aren't aware of it, then they'll watch the same thing and they'll get fed that one thing, and they'll never see that side that you said, right? And then they'll see one sided, but I have no expertise. Look, I have no. I'm an absolute blind. That's why I just wanted to talk about this kind of current stuff first, because, dude,
You are a moron.
And nobody. But I do listen to a lot of things. Okay, so like, and I do
which is good. It's better to listen to a lot of
good information. And whenever I'm talking about something like this, right, I want to be clear that I don't know. And
nobody knows.
With the amount of with the amount of like disinformation out there, from both sides or whatever, it's a game. You know, like it's such a game. And
no doubt.
But man, from the debate, that's any other like point? I mean, that's.
So here's another thing that I noticed that I feel like I was picking up on, and I'm glad you said what you said a second ago. It's about people's understanding of what they see. It kind of ties into something that I wanted to talk about later, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But how people perceive information and understand information, I think, matters a lot. Like whether you're looking at both sides or just one side, like I feel like people need to really learn to say, if you're looking at CNN and they're obviously going to be very left wing, I feel like you need to take that information that they're giving it to you and be able to look at it from a perspective of someone who's a Democrat, and be able to look at it from the perspective of someone who's a Republican. And then you get closer to the real truth of it, I think, whenever you start looking at things that way. But besides that, back to the debate, I think that it was really strange. One thing I thought was really strange is that I've seen so many snippets and clips, and I guess almost you could probably call it propaganda, that, Biden, whenever he's giving his speeches and stuff like that, he fumbles his words a lot. He says like the straight up wrong thing sometimes. Like he'll say something that's just totally out of the blue. Or sometimes even like
anybody over 70 that you ever talked to in your whole life, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt. I mean, but that's the guy
kind of skips a little.
Who's running to be our president. Okay. That guy's running to be our president.
That guy does it a lot, and he's very.
And he might be. I mean, we don't know yet. He might become our president, and I thought it was strange how he's perceived that way, as like, Joe doesn't know what he's talking about most of the time, and he actually seemed much more coherent and than I was expecting. Still not like, as coherent as I would like him to be.
Well, they said the thing about the drug test.
A lot more coherent.
Like he wouldn't do the drug test before the thing, so they probably got him.
I heard about that
for an hour. I mean,
there's a lot of weird
things.
Just
anything. Look, like anything's possible. But what I see, right, is like, and it's tough to speculate on this stuff, but like the left, as in like Antifa, right? Like, and there's like, okay,
maybe
there's such
not too sure about that one.
We're talking about the very end of the spectrum here, right? Like
the extreme,
the left,
the radical.
Yes, and I'm not talking about left. I'm not talking about the theater kids that we went to high school. You know what I'm saying? Those are like the
blue-haired Bernies.
The ones that are with it. Yeah, that kind of, but nobody's like, I mean, good grief, I don't think anybody in Texas is doing crazy stuff like that yet, but who knows?
Doesn't seem so.
This next coming up month. But anyways, Kamala Harris is going to be the president. Okay, that is like the deal. Like Biden is not going to make it for 4 more years, and it's like
so you buy into that theory that Joe is kind of like a figurehead for right now.
I would say,
right?
Like, dude, I don't know if that guy really has no idea what's going on, and people are on his side are like just feeding him this and that, and that he believes half the stuff he said. Dude,
that's what a lot of people think.
Dude, my papa, you know what I'm saying, lost it with dementia and like everything else like that. So I've seen that kind of stuff. It'll come on like that, man. And if it's already showing signs, like that's the deal. It's like out. You can't do it. And I don't think
it's not good.
I don't think Trump at his age should be doing it either. You know, no matter how energetic.
I mean, how old is Trump?
No matter how energetic or anything, like, you know what I mean? Like anybody that's like above 65, I don't know the retired age. I mean, you're gonna have some kind of like mental, you know, you're a senior citizen. Like, good grief, be honest with yourself.
Yeah, no doubt. The minimum age to be president is like 35, right?
Correct.
So you think there should be a max age as well? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I could see that, no doubt. At least some sort of I mean, is there even a mental evaluation to be president? Do they even do that? I mean, they have mental evaluations for every other important job.
You have to be born here and above 35.
You think they would do a mental evaluation?
I think that's it. I really think that's it.
That would make sense to me. Oh, there he goes. But and then I guess back to the debate also. I mean, another thing I didn't like about it personally is that it seemed like every time they asked Biden about his plans or stuff he was going to do or like what his plan was, he didn't really talk about anything he was planning to do. You know, I think maybe once I heard him actually say something about something he was going to do in regards to actual action whenever he became president. But besides that, he turned most of his questions he either sidestepped, I thought, or turned the conversation back around into well, Trump did a terrible job on this, and this is what he did, and we're just going to do it so much better. But he never actually said what they're going to do that was better than what Trump has been doing.
Yeah. And well, that's exactly what I saw, man. Is just the same. Is Trump firing stuff and Biden just going like, and then I didn't expect this, but Trump I saw the moderator. I don't know who this guy is, but he's like a Fox News guy, so I figure, oh, well, this could get crazy on Trump's side. Like, no, it's the exact opposite. Yeah, like that dude is.
You know that guy, that moderator is like served under Biden. He's been like an employee under Biden before, and he has like a lot of actual left, like Democratic ties. Like
that's why people just wanted freaking Joe Rogan to do a debate.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
That would have been amazing.
I think that I don't think he would have agreed. Man. You got to find somebody that's not going to do that crap. Like any kind of crap like that. Like,
well, here's the thing is I think they want him to do that kind of crap. Like, I think they're putting that guy up to that. Like, he's probably down for the cause, but I think that goes deeper than just the moderator level. I think there's someone behind him saying like, yeah, like say this or do that.
Well, duh. You know what I'm saying? Just like I saw the whole earpiece thing, just like Biden wouldn't get tested with it. And I don't this just as a comment. Look, just as from someone who does not. It's just average viewpoint here, you know? I mean, you see, like, oh, man, I completely lost my train of thought. Say what you said real quick.
About like the network issue and how the moderator, like, yes, the moderator.
Oh yeah. So as a common dude, right? Like, the first thing I think is like, well, why wouldn't Biden just say yeah to a drug test? Like, just why not?
No,
like, why not then? You know what I mean?
He was and I understand. It's very low key sketchy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not worried about. I try not to like. The things that are wrong are very clear that they put out there, right? Like if it's Trump is a white supremacist or whatever, or if it's like Biden's completely losing his mind. Like, I don't think either one is accurate. I think Biden is probably not fit. You know what I'm saying? And
Probably not.
yeah.
Probably.
But
I haven't talked to the dude, but there's a lot of evidence at this point that suggests otherwise. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, you got to think too when the focus is all like when I watched like Biden up there, like he looked fine. You know what I mean? And you will see a lot of like I'm sure you're seeing a lot of like,
no doubt.
You know, if you think that Biden is like that, that's all you're going to see in your feed is that, oh yeah, Biden is, people that think that Biden is like losing it, right? And you're going to get people looking for videos and clips of him, right? And shooting that around. But are you good?
Are we back?
I guess so.
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes. Anyways.
Cut out for a second. But what were you saying?
Yeah. Anyways, but just like I said, we'll talk about CNN will show you one thing, right? Like you got to be aware that you're going to see more of Biden gaffing or whatever it's called, right? So you got to think that it's probably somewhere in the middle, right? Like he's probably
probably not that bad, but it's probably not that great.
He's probably slow. He's not losing it. You know what I mean? But anyways, I just say like why, you know, I try not to think about what any of the topics. I just think like, well, why wouldn't he take a drug test? And then, well, why wouldn't he? It kind of
screams out at you.
Like they wouldn't let it. He wouldn't let him check his ear right before to make sure he didn't have an earpiece. Like, how do you?
Yeah.
Just by saying no, like that's like sketch to me, man. That's like it's the same thing like if you get pulled over for drunk driving and you decline the breathalyzer, you're going, buddy. You know, like they're gonna put you in the car. So you know, so it's like a guilty admission right there, buddy. So
see, the thing is, nobody's looking for guilt on Biden's side. No one thinks they have to try and guilt him. Everybody's looking for the guilt on Trump's side because that's just where everything is swinging. That's where they swing it the most. Biden is definitely gotten a lot of hard passes, I think, especially with some of the stuff that he's been involved with for this. Like, it's honestly crazy that he's the best candidate the Democratic Party had to try and run this. And it makes me think that it's probably mostly because everyone just recognizes his face. He's like a very recognizable, I mean, he's the vice president, so he's very recognizable at this point. And a lot of people just sort of cling to that face and then don't pay attention to anything else. They're like, well, Biden was under Obama and they thought Obama did a fantastic job. So it was easy for the Democratic Party to nail him as
they put us, we went from like, oh man, my boy Jimmy Dore says it all the time. We went from like, I don't, don't quote me, but it was like from 2 wards to 7 under the Obama administration or something. It definitely went up. Like we went into Syria, we went into and like way past like Iraq and Afghanistan.
We were getting involved everywhere. We were getting very involved with a whole bunch of other countries.
I'll just say wrong things, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? Who cares? Like if blah, blah, blah. I don't have to make. Like I saw, like Facebook started like fact checking people, like just normal people. I'm like.
You just now started doing that?
I think us normal people would know if old Joe is probably not researched on what he's talking about. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think we need Facebook. It's
extremely obvious in his case. Yeah. But I mean, what you gonna do? You know, that's just it is what it is.
That's what
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts? He got taken to a hospital, but I think he's fine. I don't even think he needed to go to the hospital.
He's going to be fine.
You think it's a assassination attempt?
Like put it on the mic in the debate. No. So it's funny. You'll hear like, I've heard like, man, you hear it all. That's what I'm saying. It's so dumb to think that anyone is like, for sure. Like, you don't have some doubt. You know what I mean?
You gotta have some doubt either way. Either way, you're not safe unless you have some doubt. There's no doubt about that. Doubt will keep you alive. Doubt will keep you smart. It'll keep you sane.
All that. Shit, I lost what I was saying.
Need to tie a string to it next time.
And bro, my memory is bad. I'm so ready for Elon Musk's like Neuralink thing to like fix people's memory, bro.
No, I don't want to be a robot. Drilling holes in my head.
Put a chip in my head, dude. Let's go.
Did you hear about what that's going to like allow you to do? Like what that's going to allow people to do? It's crazy.
I mean, yeah, but what do you mean?
It's crazy.
Please elaborate. Like,
yeah. Well, no, they said that like it's going to allow you to communicate. Like if I have a chip and you have a chip, it's going to allow us to be able to communicate and almost kind of see what each other is thinking without using any words or actual language whatsoever.
Yes, communicate without words.
And not only that, but like there's the idea that it's going to allow you to be able to tell sort of whenever someone is trying to deceive you. Like say they're telling you one thing and then you're sort of doing the whole mind, I don't know how it works, but the whole mind telepathy thing, and you can see that they're sort of like thinking something else, or that their train of thought is going somewhere else. So you know that what they're speaking to you, what they're trying to tell you, ain't the real deal. I just saw a podcast about that the other day, and that's kind of scary to me. Like I don't even think I'd, especially not if it's the first wave, if it's the first generation of it. I don't want to be the guinea pig for that sort of thing.
Let me just tell you, Mr. Guinea Pig right here. I will be all over that, man. Like I'm super about it. Well, okay, so man, I just really like the way old Elon does his stuff, man. So I think that I would trust that from his company.
Stand up guy. So you would get the chip then? You would 100% get the chip. Is there a cost? Yeah. Is there a price for getting the chip?
I'm wondering if there's a sign up for like the trials. Like, I will be that guy. Like
You know, that a saying pops up in my head. I say it to people all the time. It's the early bird gets the worm, but it's the second mouse that gets the cheese. You go ahead and be a guinea pig if you want, brother, but you just make sure and tell me how it is.
I don't know. What do you want, worm or cheese? What are you feeling that day?
I'll take the cheese most of the time.
I don't know about that one, buddy.
I'd much rather be the second one in than the first one that gets messed up trying to get in. But I guess I don't know. I wonder like how much something like that would cost. I wonder a lot. Like, would there be maintenance on it? Would you have to go?
He wants to do it. He wants to do it just like he does his things, which like, you know, he started in PayPal, right? That was his first like big thing. He's the owner of PayPal.
I did not know that.
He's the owner of PayPal. Yes, and right, yeah, and that's what started everything. It started the Cash App. I mean, so this guy, and then Tesla, right? Like, bro, I mean, look, I will just tell you that Tesla is the car. So,
car.
As a like a former car salesman, I will tell you like that is the car. Well, not even that, dude. If you have driven one.
No, I haven't.
Okay. Yeah, it beats because I've driven like, you know what I'm saying? Your Trackhawks.
Yeah.
Your
no doubt.
your Hellcat, whatever.
Nice cars.
And
it's better than all the rest.
I actually haven't driven a Hellcat, Scat Pack. Anyways, but you drive.
So what's the deal with Tesla? Like, what makes it so much better?
It's silent. It's like so fast. It's so fast.
Like, are you driving on water? Like, what's the deal? Is it the Jesus Christ of all cars?
Like, it feels like a ride. It doesn't feel like. It's very weird. It's weird to explain. Like, and it's really not too different, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. It's like really quiet, really smooth ride, and there's no like engine or anything. And then. Obviously like the and I only know this was like an older Model S, right? So it's not like it didn't have the auto It wasn't, but it was fast. But anyways, but he wants like the Tesla, right? Is cheap for what it is. Like wherever you line it up, man, it is like stupid cheap. Overall cost of maintenance and everything. Just like the Model 3, as far as like its price range, is like, it's just such a better car than whatever.
Cheap. I wonder what the monthly payments would be like on that kind of car.
Well, you can lease them for pretty cheap.
Yeah, I know almost nothing about Tesla.
But the monthly payment, I'm telling you, like your gas savings and whatever else, I mean, it cuts it by like $100, $150, just like that. So, I mean, yeah, easy.
Is it like half gas, half electric, or like is it all electric?
It's all electric, buddy. And that's what people like are afraid of. Is like it's like, oh, you can only charge it, or you know what I mean. But it's just like, man, you would plug it in when you get home, and then if you run out of charge, you're just as big of an idiot as if you run out of.
You gotta have a long charge.
If you run out of gas in your regular car, man, I mean, like, come on.
Yeah, true. Plan accordingly.
I mean? Yeah, and unless you're going on a
seems
road
like
trip,
it would be more of a hassle to get gas.
Well, how often do you go on a road trip? That's the only time you're going to be driving more than 250 miles in a day, basically. You know, and if you drive 200 to 250 miles, like, and that is the bottom range, okay? And he's constantly releasing over the air. And that's the thing about Tesla too, is like if you get your hands on one, that's what I'm saying, is you will get the updates over the air. And he added like 50 miles of range to like all the cars or something like that. I don't know, like 30, something like that, just by a software update, by telling the computer how to drive better or something like that. Like
wow.
Or yeah, nuts. So, and the deal is they can improve, Tesla can improve their cars so much faster than a regular automaker, because a regular automaker has to go through they have to rebuild a new car, right? Like make a whole new car, even if it's the same, right? What's it called? 2018 to 2019 Dodge Charger or whatever, right? Like it's the same. Or you got to build a whole new one, and you got to get it all tested, all regulated. You got to test everything over and over again. Versus the Tesla update is they basically have the same body, right? That comes out every year or whatever. And they're probably, they're going to make more variables off that eventually, but I think their focus is like, getting the auto drive and all that other shit. But anyways, the software, let's say software A, so the old one, let's call it B, software B, is driving, right? The Tesla, right? This is how they update it, right? So this is how they come out with a new car, right? So like when they come out with a new update, it's a new car, right? It is, you have the new model of the car. You're still driving the same body, right? Like, but I mean, obviously you trade up whenever they get like the battery, the big upgrade, model upgrades when they do it. You know what I'm saying? But it's, it's so insignificant from year to year that, anyways, right? Like it's been the same design basically. They're much more focused on the auto driving, whatever. But anyways,
which is cool. Which is very cool.
But anyway, so the old one will drive, right? And then the new, and then software A, the new one will side seat, right? Like passengers. So they'll run them at the same time, but with one like under it, however way you want to see it, right? And then they flip and they go right seat, left seat, right? And then the new one drives, and the old one is like at the bottom, so that way they can shut it off and go to the old one that works, right? In case they have a malfunction or something while they're testing. And this right, and this is also they're getting all of their information constantly, right? Every time all the cars are driving, it's feeding information,
constantly updating, sending information
so that they can update. Yeah. So it's all the income of information too. So then it's that right seat, left seat, and then the old one's gone, and then you have your new update. Then they release it, and now you have like 30 more miles of range or whatever happens to be that particular update. I mean, I'm telling you, dude, it's like.
They even have, would there even be any need for new, like a yearly model of a car if you have a car that updates like that? How'd that even work?
No. As far as body style, no. They would.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Tesla will update their body style. I don't even know if they, have with like the 3. It's been the same, but it hadn't been out for that long. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they're gonna come out with different body styles eventually, but that's not what they're focused on, because obviously, yeah, nobody's gonna give a crap if they don't have to go. That's the deal about the business model, man. The person doesn't have to go buy a new freaking car to get the new year's technologies, right? So it keeps up, and the consumer is able to keep up. Yes. So you don't have to go.
Like, it's always a new car. It's always the latest version of that car that it's going to be.
Yeah, and then obviously, whenever they come out with a new body style, if you want that body style, you go get it or whatever.
It's definitely a pretty forward.
I really like his, and the business model was, it was like we were talking about what PayPal, then Tesla, now Neuralink. So I figure Neuralink's gonna be a-okay, buddy.
And SpaceX, dude's crazy. Elon Musk is absolutely crazy.
SpaceX is self-explanatory.
He's got the light going on. Oh, it is self-explanatory.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing.
That's space. Going into space. So.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's switch to. I want to talk about, man.
What you got?
Or is there anything else current that you want to talk about? Because I was gonna say Trump has COVID. That was the only thing I kind of wanted to.
Trump has COVID. I got one other thing I want to talk about later, kind of, but we can go ahead and go with whatever you got.
What's up, buddy?
We can say you go first.
I just want to talk about, man. I wanted to explain a little bit, kind of what we talked about last time. Like, we got into the stocks thing, kind of yada yada yada, and like, man, that's another thing, dude. I don't know anything. So, but I just share, what I see as an average guy that like got on there for a while and played around and just off kind of common sense. And that's what I'm saying is you can have common sense enough to go. All I'm saying is screw your savings account, right? Like, have a savings account, but don't put all your money into that, because that's all that we've been taught, right? Like, you should have. Okay, and I wish I could draw it up. I can't even do the math in my head right now, I don't think. But
need diagrams.
Okay, think about it. So if you take $100 a paycheck, $200 a month, right? Let's just say easy numbers here, and you have a 0.5% interest rate on it. So that's nothing. Okay, so so let's just say $200 a month. Okay, so you're putting $200 a month, and at the end of the year, that's like $1,400. Or that's way off. It's like $2,600. 20. Please help me. I don't know why this is so impossible for me.
Get the calculator out.
$2,400. I'm an idiot. Golly, that's what I'm saying. Don't listen to me. So, $2,400. So, but man, if you have 10% on that, you know what I'm saying. So if you're just putting it into Apple or Ford or whatever is common sense to you, like all the Warren Buffett guys, they'll talk about, stick to what you know. He'll have only like 5 things or whatever. But it's like, yeah, dude, yeah. If you're in the oil field, I'm not investing into like oil stocks. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know jack diddly squat and don't keep up with the oil field. But if you have sports on every single day, you should invest into things that have sports with them. And if you have, you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And it should be like anywhere from like 10 to 20% of your deal. And
of your deal, of your what?
If you just switch that, that's what I'm saying. If you just switch that and then you add time with it, you add and you do it decent. I'm telling you, 10 to 12, 10, 15% is not hard to do on the stock market, right? Or Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, by the way, I wanted to clarify, is closer to gold, right? As far as what I understand about it, like as far as like the way the market is, right? Like, so it goes off of uncertainty, or it goes up off of uncertainty of the dollar versus stock goes up off of certainty of the dollar, right? So when you think of Bitcoin, I try to think of it as Bitcoin is closer. Think of it kind of like more like gold, right? Okay. Which you can do both in the Cash App, right? So, it's called. It's so stinking easy. Everybody has a Cash App, but
no doubt.
The point was, yeah, like 10 to 20%, dude. If you're doing your little $200 a month thing, or whatever, yeah, you'll have like 50 grand saved up in 20 years or whatever it is. But man, think about 10-12% off that 200 every time, and then
it's more exponential.
10-12% going off 2,400 after first year, and you get 10-12%.
Yeah,
and it's just like, man, that's how things go, savings, man, and that's how the compound interest and all that jazz used to go whenever you had better rates from the bank on your savings account. But now that it's a 0.5%, you're not doing anything. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say about that.
Well, I think you got, so let me see if I can summarize. Basically what you're saying is that people are just in general going to be a lot better off by not saving all of their money, but by investing that money and making more money off of their money.
Yes. And look, I'm saying is you should, right, obviously have a cushion, right? Like you shouldn't start playing with money. I'm not playing with money. I'm not playing with money right now. Don't invest it all. Because I don't have a cushion. I don't have a cushion. I don't have a whatever. So yeah, have your savings account that has your 0.5%. But don't be investing your, you know what I'm saying? Like your big chunk of $200, put like $50 a month or something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I don't know, whatever your income is, like whatever your income is, obviously think of it that way. But like, I'm saying, right? So think of it this way, just with all the stuff that I've, like, knowledge I like to think that I've acquired. Like Grant Cardone and his real estate stuff and yada yada, whatever. And let's just say you do like, $200 a month, right? And you put it into stocks and blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden you've got, at the end of, I'm not gonna use that low of a number, it sounds sucky. Let's say $500 a month, right? So $500 a month, then at the end of the year, gotta get my shit right. At the end of the year, you've got $6,000. Okay, so at the end of the year, you've got $6,000. Let's just say you take $3,000 and you go to the bank, right? And this is after you have cushion. This is after you have your freaking credit score taken care of and all that, dude. Credit Karma, you name it, right? That's not hard stuff. Pay your bills. You know what I'm saying? I have bills I need to pay as I'm saying that. You know what I'm saying? But so before you make the moves or whatever, you got to obviously but that's just that stuff's done. Like you pay your bills, fix your credit. Everybody knows how to fix your credit. Go to,
you'd be surprised, but yeah.
I'm sorry. Everybody should know how to. Yes, because the information is available out there.
It's not that hard. It's not that hard.
It is hard. It is hard.
Well,
but it is not complicated.
It's a lot of discipline.
It's not complicated. Yes, I know what you're saying. Yes, I get you. But I wanted to clarify. It's not hard. It is complicated. Or it is not complicated. It is hard.
No doubt.
Anyways, so let's say you take $3,000 of that and you go to the bank and you say, hey, I want to buy this fourplex, you know what I'm saying, with that it's already up and running, or this duplex or something, whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever your credit limit is going to let you do, right? Like, or whatever point you're at, like, or if you want to put that whole $6,000 and go buy an eightplex or whatever. And, you know, depending on what down payment they got to have, you got a VA loan, you got different options, all this stuff. Point is, right, if you take, let's just say you take half of whatever you save up and you go invest it into something in real estate. And then now you've got like $500 a month profit off that. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but where did you get your first $6,000 from? You get what I'm saying? Saving $500 a month. So
now you got an extra $500 a month off that.
Now you're putting $500 a month. Now you're back to where you started, or you got $3,000 out, right, into the you get what I'm saying? Like
$2,000 for savings,
right? Yeah. And then eventually you do that 10 times, right? And you do that
it's
with
like
the
a snowball effect.
and you have like four, and you just keep, and you can do better off the stock markets. You can do not in real estate.
Whereas whenever people are saving, are just saving,
and when I say do stocks, do Bitcoin, do this, do that, I'm not saying I know anything. I'm not saying whatever. And also, there's different things, right? Keep in mind, like there's things that I do not even keep track of or have any idea of, right? Like, so I'm saying like oil stocks, like I have no idea, you know?
No way. No.
There's bonds and 401k, that stuff, some of that stuff I don't understand. Your Roth IRAs, I don't really understand that, but like
savings account.
I just say like the real estate thing, and then you know what I'm saying. Then you buy into. Good Lord, I mean, you know what I'm saying.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to keep track of. You couldn't possibly keep track of.
Well, then you just start buying up different kinds of businesses, you know, and then once you're, you know, you don't have to be an expert. Once you have money, you just have to manage business. You have to understand. So once you understand how to manage the money, then you can understand how to manage an investment, right? Like your real estate thing. Then you have to then that'll teach you how to understand a business, right? Because you now own a business, right? So then
just learning more.
You just keep taking it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Like, and whatever level you're at, it's all about how many levels you go up from there. It's not about what number that level is. You know what I'm saying? Relative to everything.
It's about climbing levels.
Yeah, but
seems like
the basic point, right? My basic point is, dude, your savings account are no go. If you think you're going to get ahead using your savings account, then it's not going to happen. It's
like
never going to happen.
Minimal. That's like the bare minimum that you could be doing for yourself is just having a savings account.
Grant says like cash is trash. Cash is trash.
Cash is trash. Interesting.
Well, man, and I want to start listening to. That's what I'm saying is everything. I don't want to sound too young here. You know what I'm saying? Or too much like a young.
You gotta stay young, brother.
23-year-old, but hey, man, it's starting to become real clear with the internet. Things may not have been wrong, right? That's what maybe people get the wrong idea, an incorrect idea of is things may be wrong now that weren't wrong before, but like the amount of like time is like sped up, man. Like if you take 100-year timeline out of textbook from anything before like 1800, dude, you're gonna see the same thing throughout that whole 100 years. You take the last 100 years, holy cow, it's different every 5-10 years, right? And especially the last 20 years, like man, and the last 5 years, even 10 years, whatever. Like the stuff we were taught in school, like, or the stuff that our parents knew, right? Like 20, 30 years ago or whatever, you know, just whatever, right? Old information is no good anymore, right? Like and it's not that it's no good.
It gets outdated very quickly.
It's good. It's outdated. It's good to know that information, have a base off whatever. You've got to understand that now that we have the internet, ideas from all over the world are now have been integrating for like whatever at an unprecedented rate and going faster and faster. And man, there's a lot of info out there, you know, and a lot of bad info, a lot of good info. So
literally constant.
I like to really I believe that these guys I believe the new stuff that we're talking about, like real estate, right? People talk about that and stocks and this and that, like having all this stuff like your Grant Cardone, real estate, everything, cash is trash. The idea of investing over saving, right, is new, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. And I don't want to say that the old stuff is bad and you should keep the old stuff. Like, yeah, save your money and because that's how you pay your bills, right? That's how you get from the cushion to whatever. But now,
also kind of how you stay where you
now
are.
that you have now that you have got some money to make some moves, now you got to go make the moves. And that's where I see people stuck, adults stuck, you know, nobody. And I heard I've seen all kinds of video of like Trump was talking about it actually in like 93 or something, whenever they had the housing crisis. And he tore the Senate up or whoever it was he was talking to. I think it was the Senate. And they were like, oh, tell us more. Like different attitude right nowadays. They're like, oh, please, Mr. Trump, tell us more about how we can save our country. Like seriously, like what do you know? Like we know that you're an economic genius. Like, and they were asking me questions like that. And and talked about how, you know, and you hear things like, oh, it's a little bit harder. It is a little bit harder to invest your money in this and that or whatever, but it's not. It's like with certain deals and taxes and whatever. But bro, it sounds really easy, man. Whenever like you start just kind of, all right, well, let's see what these guys are talking about. Like old Gary Vee and Grant and you know, you name it. I think they know what's going on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they made that new money and it's going up. So
I feel like what you're talking about as far as the financial things and all that, I feel like it's a process where it's a lot easier to do once you've already gotten started. I feel like it's harder to start than it is to do once you're actually in it. And once you're in it, then you're just kind of going.
Kennedy. I'm gonna loosely quote the Bible here because I probably got it wrong, but it's like he who is given. It's something like he who has plenty will be given all, and like he who has not so much. I don't know what it says, but it's basically like
you get more whenever you have, and you get less.
The poor person will receive nothing, right? So
yeah.
And what I take from that is like once you have things, right? Once you have assets and once you have possessions, things will be easier for you because you can make these kind of moves. Because you can't make the kind of moves. I can't make moves right now because I'm employed. You know what I'm saying?
It's easier to acquire. It's easier to acquire.
You can't make moves, right? Yeah. And it and
not to mention celebrity.
It's the thing kind of we talked about last time, like with the time, with the people thinking on a linear thing. And that's like a human brain thing, and so it's not people's fault. But anyways, time, my friend, like time, that idea, you know what I'm saying? That life truth right there, like break it down, say it however you want to. But yeah, when you have more, then you can invest more in it and things go faster. That's the point, right? I think what it does to me is it's about time. It's about
capital.
Like if you just keep putting in the time, keep putting in the work, right? Eventually you'll build, right? But as you build, that's why I like percentages along with time, right? So like that's why you're not going to get ahead with your 0.5% because it's not going to. Anyways,
need more
percentages with time.
Need more to make more.
It's exponential. That's what I'm trying. I'm such an idiot, but I'm trying to say it's exponential. It's not bum. It is a curve, right? And
constantly going up.
And man, people do not understand how to apply that in practical like they won't connect that. That's what I'm saying. It's tough for me to connect it right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, but do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Makes perfect sense, no doubt. It's just how do you get people to start thinking differently? You know, you just got to get people to think about it differently, and then things can happen. But
I don't know how other than to sit somebody down and tell them, look, you've been like, I wish I could just grab like just some 40-year-old, you know, I mean, if you could just grab some 40-year-old and be like, look, man, if you've been doing, where are you at right now? You've been doing what you're talking about for years and years and years and years, and you're nowhere. But do you have stuff on in the background?
Okay. No, I don't have any sound on. There's no sound. Don't worry.
What's it called? Oh, I lost it, buddy. What were we saying?
Bring it back. I think you were talking about a 40-year-old
Oh yeah, just like, well, man, how's that work? Okay, I'll put it in a different way. 80% of people before COVID were paycheck to paycheck, buddy. You know what I'm saying? So do you think that the old information is working? I think not. With the way that things are now, I think not. I think that most people are on this 80% of people have, and probably 70% or whatever, because some people are like me and kind of know or think I know the right way to go or a better way to go. And you get what I'm saying, right? There's a little gray area of people who don't got it, but they gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the mindset.
Yeah,
you know.
No doubt.
But dude, do you think it's working? I don't think so.
I think there's a lot of stuff that doesn't work. There's a lot of stuff.
I think half of it is like what we talked about last time, right? I think half of it, or some of it's what we talked about last time, as far as like it's people spending habits to do with the Gucci belt, it's this and that, but it's also that the process is not the same anymore, man. You know what I'm saying? And nothing's the same anymore. And if you're stuck in your ways, man, life is gonna whack you in the face, you know, like it did me, and like it has done for a ton of people. If you were not ready, if you were living paycheck to paycheck, this whacked the living hell out of you, right? Like, or at least really like focus it in on like, man, this is a problem, you know? And got to do something different. That's what I'm thinking. And that's why I want to talk about it right now, and that's why I want to get it out and have a conversation, because I have these conversations. That's why I want to start doing this. Is I have these like great fucking conversations with people like you, people like Jamie Arena, people like Seth Black. Like Seth Black is another man that is like, he's on the right track. Okay,
he's already there.
Well, and he's swimming at the bottom, you know what I'm saying? Just like us. But I tell you what, buddy, the light is most clear when you're in a dark ass cave. It's not like, it is the most bright. Like you will see that path if you are in a dark place. And so just go, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, keep on trucking.
But man, that's why I wanted to do this, is because I don't know. I'm okay. Because I'm once I do start going into, and also just to be transparent about, like, I do hopefully want to be successful one day, obviously, just like everybody, but hopefully I am successful one day, and this and that, whatever. And hopefully I and people can look back at like this stuff and see how rough, like this is rough right now. Okay. Like just be straight up, but it doesn't matter, because the conversation is what matters. And it is kind of like rocky. Like, let's see how we're kind of going now and whatever. Like, it's rocky at first. Even the second time, it was pretty rocky starting out earlier. But it's like, man, just having conversations with people does so much for you, right? But it also, like, it allows you to get their perspective, and it'll allow you to see your thoughts at a different perspective, right? So that way you can see, oh, if I'm going down this certain way, and then I tell you about it. Well, honestly, and here's the deal, is because I'm definitely going to do a few of these like solo and whatnot. As soon as you ever, and this is what meditating is, man. You know, people do meditating, whatever. That's what prayer is, right? It's just asking inside. It's just asking yourself. Like if you ask yourself, what am I doing wrong in life? How quickly of a response? How quickly of a response are you going to get inside your own head? It's going to be quick, is it not?
Very quick.
Yeah, and that's everybody, you know. And but if you say like, what am I doing right? Like, what, man? Think about some good things about me. Okay, yeah. It's a little bit slower, but like, man, I tell you what, if you got to know what you're doing wrong, ask yourself. If you got nobody else to ask yourself. It'll be right there. And even when I say things, as soon as I say them to you, as soon as I say things out loud, that's my point, right? As soon as it's out loud, as soon as you listen to it, as soon as you actually think about it, right? Or ask yourself, you'll know. Like, you'll know, oh, this is stupid, what I'm doing. I should probably not. I'm probably thinking of this the wrong way. I'm probably doing this and that, whatever. but I feel like people aren't having as much conversations now. Right? Like even the conversations that I have in my like day to day, man, you either like don't have the time, don't care to, you're in a relationship, so you're gonna hang out with your girl. That's kind of a little bit of mine. But you know, we're all a little bit of each, I guess. Like, but don't have the time to like never have these like long conversations, right? And like, but man, I have them, but you have them whenever you're hanging out with your buddies, right? You have them when you're on the golf course or when you're at the bar or like whatever, right? Like you start having these conversations, not at work. That's the point. Okay. So like people are working all the time, yada, yada. And then when they get home, it's also like all this technology and everything, but this is a way. I feel like this is a way to, because you live far away, right? Best like to have like because I have the best conversations with people like you, Seth, Jamie, just on the phone. So that's why I wanted to start doing this is like, and those conversations, I say that they're the best is that they, dude, just like, yeah, your boys will set you straight and all that, right? Like anybody you talk to is going to give you their perspective and it's going to make you think different and you're going to go about a better path. The more you talk about things, the more you put things out in the universe, and then you start talking about them better, you start having the same, like, okay, because if we're talking about finances and we talk about finances more and we're more, then eventually we'll know better about finance and we'll know what we've said wrong and whatever. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, you got to have conversations with people.
It kind of comes down to that basic law that the more you do something, the better you will become at it. Whether it's talking about something or whatever else, if you're putting your energy towards that certain thing more and more often, then you are going to eventually, without a doubt, get better at that thing. And the problem is that people just don't put their energy towards things like that. They do it once or twice maybe, but they don't continuously keep trying to build on that mental experience, that conversations that we have, the bounce back and forth, that
let me
the thing.
Let me clarify something. Like what I was saying a little bit is like people talk and yada yada yada, but it's always like small talk nowadays. Like it's always in passing, this and that. It's text. It's over Instagram. It's this.
Well,
it's
hard. It's hard to break that.
It's hard. Yeah. People got stuff going on, and it's different. That's what I was trying to say. Is like everybody's got you got work, you got girlfriend.
It also like there's like a chemistry issue kind of thing. Like you can't talk about certain things with certain people. You got to find those conversations that you can have. Because the more conversations like that you have, honestly, the better person that you're going to end up becoming.
Man, I'll tell you what. So, I met a lot of different people. Let's just say that from a lot of different places. And while I was like in the Army for sure, right? A lot of different places, a lot of different people, and
it's definitely valuable to get.
You can get along with anybody. Okay, you can get along with anybody.
If you find the right stuff, if you find the right
through conversation. Yeah. So like that's what I want to have. I want to talk more to people that disagree with me as well, right? And like obviously we're going to disagree on some things, but we're like best friends. So we kind of see the same or can see the same, right? We can see what each other's
no doubt
perspective.
Even if we disagree, like we can still talk about
it. Right, but that should be able to translate to, and it used to be able to translate. And it translates better. My point is when you are like, because in the Army, right, you are forced to deal with people, right, and you're whoever they are. And I used to think that it was like everybody thinks that it should be 2 years like Israel does it, like join up with the Army. No, I just think that. And there's also this problem with like recruiters like being jicky, and I had issues with my recruiter being a POS and all that, and whatever, man. And this would just eliminate if you just like instead of recruiting, right? If you just let people sign up and like, because especially right now, if people need a paycheck, some people just need a freaking paycheck. So if the government were to be like, hey, we're not doing this recruiting thing the same way anymore. How we're going to do it is you're going to come sign up. You're going to go to basic training. And then, man, after basic training, we'll let you sign a contract and go on. You know what I'm saying? Basic training isn't going to be anywhere the same as regular Army, you know, but if you can make it through that, then it's definitely going to be easy, you know? So whatever. And not easy, you know what I'm saying? But then obviously we can go forward from here. You know what I'm saying? So that way we wouldn't have to deal with all these, man. And at basic, like that's where I'm hearing like Tim Kennedy say a lot of the stuff about like you can't even recruit for like special forces right now because so many kids are fat and stuff like that. Like they don't just playing video games and eating Cheetos.
Out there, man.
but yeah, you gotta. Well, if I would have told the Army about my broken femur, I wouldn't have been able to get in. It's pretty tough to get in, you know. Like there's a lot of like
a lot of requirements, a lot of things that could knock you out of the lineup.
But anyways, basically what I'm trying to say is, man, if people could, it'd be great, right? I'm not going to try and break down the whole process or whatever, but I'm just saying it'd be great if people could sign up, right, and say, hey, I'd like to go to basic training. Take a paycheck for a couple months right now during the COVID or whatever, especially. But man, I need to make a paycheck. I need to, and you would learn to make your bed every day, and you would be eating right every day. You'd be working out every day, and dude, the amount of difference that a little bit of that would do for a lot of people would just be astronomical. But also really maybe it'll help out the Jicky recruiter thing by being like more welcoming or anything. But anyways, man, also not just like your own physical being, but dude, as far as like working with people, like, man, it just, you hear,
opens you up. It opens you up.
Sam Harris is?
Experience. Huh?
Do you know who Sam Harris is?
Yeah, I know the name.
So he's like this, he's this white guy that went to India, basically and he's all like who and real like objective and everything. He says he's very wise. I don't like some of the things he says. You know what I'm saying? He's like on the lefty there, but he says very good things.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And he oh boy, I lost it. What were we talking about?
Sam Harris.
No, before that.
For that, you were talking about let me just check my notes here. Something about the military and how if people faced a little bit more adversity, if they got a little more experience talking with a whole bunch of other people, that would.
Oh, you're taking notes? That's interesting.
No, I'm not taking any notes.
Oh, that's funny. You're funny.
Mental notes, buddy.
So say that last part.
Here.
What's up?
Hey, leave him alone. He's busy.
I was before that. No, she's trying to help. You just said it though. What was it? What was that last part?
How people need to experience more. They need to have those conversations and the adversity with other people, and that will help. That will make things easier for people to kind of open up a little bit. Somehow that ties to Harris.
I don't remember what I was going to say about Sam Harris or whatever, but so screw it. But yeah, man, you were for. He has this. Sam has this thing that he wants to see the world. He says he sees it as like colorblind, and like that should be the goal, and he sticks to that. And there's people that say, oh, well, you have to see it as a point from racism because only then would you see the oppression that's going on and the horrible systematic racism and yada yada. And he's like, well, we're never gonna get anywhere. That's how humans been doing it for yada yada yada. And it's like, I promise you, like, and this is me saying, like, I promise you, like, a colorblind world is a good world to live in. Like when you, boy, I'll tell you, and it maybe it's because it ain't. Maybe it is a little racist, but it's because everybody's green. That's the only race there is, buddy. Everybody is green from head to toe. You are not white. You are not black in the Army. You are not white. You are not black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you are not Mexican.
Because everybody's going through that same. Everybody's going through that same adversity. You're all going through the same thing.
Well, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anything. It doesn't matter anything. It does not matter what that person thinks about anything. It matters if that person is a good person or not. If that person is going to, and I say good person.
If he's going to let you down
I didn't get
or not.
Look, I didn't get deployed. I didn't go do anything crazy. I know nothing about that, but I'll tell you, from like I've been in the swamp with people, you know what I'm saying, that get like trench foot where you have like a gap, you know what I'm saying? Like it gets pretty stupid out there. Okay. And when it gets stupid, like you find out who's gonna bitch out, who is not going to pull you through when you need it up over the wall. You know what I'm saying? Or like whatever exercise.
Who you can rely on.
Whatever anything is. Yes. And that, and I'll tell you what.
It's about who they are as a person at that point.
I think everybody needs a little bit of, I don't know, man. It might be physical competition. I don't know what it is that people need.
I'll tell you what it is.
But it's a little bit of everything. But
everybody needs to be put through that difficult obstacle that is going to somehow bring something out of them. It's going to make them overall better in the end.
With people you hate.
They need that adversity. They need it.
I borderline hated the guy that slept right next to me. He was like this 5'5" Haitian giant. I mean, like bodybuilding size man. Like he was short, but he was a stocky.
Walk sideways through doors.
He had the whole deep booming voice. This man snored.
Yeah.
Like you would not believe it. He was one of those guys that always kissed ass to the drill sergeants, and then would be a piece of shit in the barracks or whatever. But brother, you learn to get along with that guy if he's sleeping next to you.
You have to.
There's no option. And you know what? I'll tell you what. Me and that guy, we got in each other's face a lot. We had a couple little scruffs. You know what I'm saying? Not like swinging or whatever. We had a couple little shoving, whatever. Yeah, you don't want it to escalate. And you'll get in trouble with the drill sergeants. That's worse. But like,
big time.
And most of the time it doesn't, man. Most of the time, that's another thing. Most of the time you're too tired. You're too tired to really get it. Like, man, I ain't
trying to worry about it.
I ain't trying. But point is, right?
It's not even worth it.
Is that this guy? Well, he'd probably kill me. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
not even worth. Like I said, not even worth it.
hey, you know, pit bull attitude, man. Whatever. But
fake it till you make it.
Hey, it's probably better. You know what I'm saying? To have that guy as a buddy.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, at the end of the day, so some of the things you learn is like, hey, you know, this guy, I may not like this guy, and I may not like what he stands for, but
he's still gonna be there tomorrow.
We're on the we are on the same team, and I'll tell you what, brother man, hey, brother man, we're all on the same team under God, brother. Like, I don't know how to say it, man. Like
team human race, man.
I'm telling you,
race.
And that's why we need the aliens.
We're not going anywhere.
Hurry up and
the person you don't like ain't going anywhere.
We need the aliens to come so that we can all just be like, yes, the human race.
We need someone to fight.
Not black or white race, the human race. Yeah. Yes, versus the aliens. Not even versus, just that. Oh man, whoa.
Either that.
We just need to know they're there. I'm telling you, we don't need to fight them or nothing that anybody's talking about. We just need to know that they're there, and then everybody will be like, "Oh man, yeah, we're stupid. We're not so different because they're really different." And then
I tell you, we either need the aliens to come down or we need the apes to rise.
Dude, I'm very interested in that. So by saying that, I assume that you've seen like the orangutan spearfishing, yes?
Yeah, I've seen some apes doing some real.
Have you seen the picture of the orangutan using a spear to fish?
Probably. Yeah, probably. I can envision it. Sounds pretty crazy. I've seen there are apes. They're like chimpanzees or apes somewhere in Africa that are going through like Stone Age, and they're like using.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, it's the orangutan. Yeah. All that jazz.
They're going through the same stages that humans went through, like back in the day. It's kind of scary to me, honestly. It's a little scary to me, but it's crazy. Crazy that we're seeing that take place.
I'll tell you, I don't think it's that scary. I think we're pretty pretty far up. It could be crazy, but you know what I'm saying? I just right off the top of my head, man, what's the population of apes? You know what I'm saying? Like, we've got like 6 billion
right
of
now?
us.
What is it right now? You introduce
you're right.
The technology, then I mean, we don't know what would happen. We have no idea.
No.
It's all a variable.
Yeah, but yeah, main point. Yeah, we need something like that.
We'd probably be fine, but
chill out, dog.
You never know. You never know.
Well, I want to talk about one more thing. So, you know how we talk about like old information versus new information, right?
Sure.
Just generalize it like that, like with your finances. I'll tell you the stuff that I'm a little bit more versed on, I would say, is like fitness type new information, right?
Mm-hmm.
And before I say this, like I don't want to have with this show, I do not want to have ads. That's why like I plugged my Cash App tag last time, and I will take only donations. I feel like that is Sam Harris, I believe, does that. He has like a subscription, but he does something, or he did something like that at first. I don't know, but that business model, that model could work.
Yeah.
Because, well, I see this more as like more of like have I told you what I hopefully want to design, but like I have this idea, man, that where this podcast thing is going. I think it's going to be like, I just have this picture in my head where it's kind of like Instagram layout, but it's like your podcast videos, right? Like just right there on YouTube, like your thumbnail. And then people will comment maybe like 5-minute max comments, videos, right? So like it's all, so you get the person's absolute perception, because everybody has
like
Zoom.
Their face
you're
view.
right there on your phone. You know, like, and that's just what it's moving to, is it's going to be like that. I feel like, right? I feel like it's going to be like a podcast, social media app, and maybe the podcast will be a little bit shorter or they'll be longer.
I like that.
Right. But I feel like something like, it'll be more of like a video social media is my point. But, so anyways, I hate ads. I can't stand them.
They're the worst.
They are the worst. I don't know why I need to be shown anything.
Well, you don't. It's what people want to show you. You know.
It is, but okay. Well, here's the deal. There's nothing wrong with ads. Okay, but when there's like an ad.
Well, there's something wrong with ads.
Well, okay. When somebody, if an ad was like paying my thing, like Joe Rogan has not Joe Rogan, I guess now that he's Spotify, but like,
I think he's
like Ben Shapiro is where I heard about these little Raycon earbuds. And dude, let me tell you, as far as like new stuff, you know who Ray J is, right?
Yeah.
Ray J, the guy that was in the video of the famous Kim K sex tape. That's Ray J. So Ray J owns this company, right? And these little earbuds are like, I think they're like $85. And you always get like 15% off, so like $60 or something like that. And then they have a better version too, but like they're better than any, or just as good, I would say, maybe not better than any like Apple AirPod Pro, anything like that. And what's it called? Like the new, I lost my point a little bit talking about that. Oh, I don't want to have to say, oh, y'all check this out. And I understand some people do it like, oh, well, I'm only going to plug the stuff that I actually try and I actually like, whatever. But it's like, no, dude, if I'm okay. Cause if we're about to start talking about working out, right? That's what I want to start talking about. But I wanted to preface it with this, like, we're talking about working out. I'm going to talk about liquid IV, right? That's my little, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it'll just come up in the conversation. Okay. That's the point. Is like
that'll be
the model should not be incentivized towards things like ad stuff or whatever, it should be incentivized towards like, man, if something's good, I'm going to hear about it and I'm going to talk about it. Right. Because I shouldn't, you know, I don't want, because in the social thing, right. Like my vision is like maybe, or whatever, is like, if you have things on your page, right, that are substantial, that mean, you know what I'm saying? Like obviously if I followed Joe Rogan on this new thing or whatever, I would donate every now and then when I could, like a little $1, but it doesn't matter if it's just $1, because on things like this, you can have so many different subscribers. So like if you have 1 million subscribers, dude, you just need all of them once a year, say, hey, can you throw me a buck? And I would be remiss or whatever word if I ever was like, only $1 million a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, and obviously, yes, if I got to the point where I was like somehow ever making $1 million a year, buddy, like, yeah, I'd be wanting to try to make more. That's the mindset. But like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm never going to be like, $1 million, that ain't shit. Like, that's $1 million, guy. Like, that's, you get what I'm saying, man?
Certain people,
so,
no doubt.
And if things come up that I like I got my Whoop strap on, it's things like that, like it'll come up, you know what I'm saying? And I would hope
a little bit of free advertising.
I would hope that if I hear about something and plug it, that maybe I get, and you know what? Maybe if I get a big donation from like Raycon, then I'm like, maybe I'll plug it. But there should be no like, hey, you have to do this, whatever. It maybe ought to be more like, hey, appreciate you plugging us. Here's this. And somehow that's got to be able to be linked.
Not really a favor, but like it's more of you're kind of doing a service for a product that you trust and believe.
It is free advertising. It is more than a favor.
Yeah.
It's free advertising. So that's what I'm saying is the model could be different. And I'm trying to see, hopefully in the best way.
Brainstorming your way through that a little bit. Yeah, no, I agree.
Well, if I get my computer science degree that I'm working on, and then I design a application that does exactly this, then woo, here we go. You know what I'm saying? But what's it called, man? Yeah, dude. So like new information, man. Gatorade versus like liquid IV. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you know, have you heard of like functional bodybuilding? Let me finish. So my point is, right, is please donate to the money sign Nick Sam Millan 19 for this podcast, so I don't have to do ads ever. And hopefully, dude, I want to make this, obviously, just like any podcast would, professional, have like mics, a camera or whatever, just like somewhat, you know, some equipment. But I don't ever want to go to like some whole giant studio crazy, whatever. And not like giant, and I might have a studio, you know, if it becomes big or whatever, but I'm telling you, I think the vision, I think the way it's going is everybody's going to start having a podcast and I hope that they do. And I'm telling them that they should, because it's a fun thing to do, right? Like I had a great time last time. I had a good time this time. Just like anytime I have a good conversation on the phone, right? But now it's just recorded and now other people can listen to it. Now other people, hopefully when they listen to it, go like, oh, and this is what people do in podcasts already, right? As listen to it, but just because we're normal people, you know what I'm saying? Like we're doing it off our iPhone and laptop, and it's not because
I suppose
whatever. And what's it called? Yeah, that's where I just think it'll go towards. But so yeah, in a social media type thing, nobody's gonna be plugging ads. That's my point. Nobody's gonna be plugging ads on their social media thing every time. So like, if you get something, if you start building, I feel like if I start building towards something, and then if I somehow create that, or if that's the way that it is going, because I think that somebody will come up with that before me, or I come up with it and it never takes off, or you know, and whatever. But I feel like that's the way it's going to go anyways, and things are going more towards in the social media. And I say this because things are going more towards in like the social media world towards video anyways, like TikTok and Instagram has like Reels now and like all that stuff, right? Like Snapchat. So it's all video. So it went from text to picture to video. So now it's going to be.
Well, it's still a lot of text, but I see what you're saying, having like sort of like a podcast app where almost everything is in the format of a video. I think that would be a very interesting idea, because then you, so much with text and things like that, you get the text and there's not as much meaning or context behind it. But if you put a face there with the text, then it means a little bit more, and I think it holds
there's no misunderstanding.
People a little bit,
like people are able to clarify
a little
their
bit more
points.
accountable. It holds people a little bit more accountable to what they're saying as well. I'm sure there's
yes, because everybody would be able to see
around it. Yeah, I'm sure people will probably try and find ways around it, but I definitely like that, the direction you're going with that idea. As far as the advertisements go, I think the biggest problem I have with advertisements is that most advertisements or advertising agencies, or the whole idea of advertisements, is they all have an agenda, and that agenda might not necessarily make ends meet with your agenda. So I definitely like the idea of trying to find a different way to do it, where like there's less agenda involved.
Well, if they try and say something, well, and the point is, look, they try and get you to,
buy this,
like
buy
Joe
that.
Rogan, the Spotify employees are barking at him, but I don't think anything will happen to that. It would be so ridiculous if
no way, dude.
The owners of that company were like, yeah, our $30,000 a year employees are mad that we need $1 billion investment. Like, no way. Man, just to avoid having to read off some dumb, boring ass thing or whatever, like if it comes up in the conversation, dude, people are gonna be like, what is that? And they're gonna look it up. You don't have to read the whole ad thing or whatever. If somebody says something like if somebody's literally listening to a podcast and somebody's talking about something they don't know about, they're going to look it up, right? So like if they want to, so like if I'm sitting here rambling on and on about like, dude, my workouts, dude, like I'm telling you, like we did football and baseball, track, everything in high school. Army was plenty physical, this and that. And now I'm starting to get back to a level where I'm like working out at that pace and like this and that or whatever. And I am telling you, my brother, Liquid IV changes the freaking ball game. Like I don't have cramps. I'm not sore the next day. And I started drinking this after my like little carnivore diet thing where like now I'm eating like 90% meat, whatever. I'm not eating vegetables. Or like
what
bread.
Is Liquid IV, by the way? Like what's the difference between Liquid IV and like other stuff? Like what is that?
Well, it's like, okay, I won't go into, it has less sugar than Gatorade and it has better sodium and potassium and vitamin levels and this and that. But hospitals use this to replenish. Liquid IV has donated like over 2 million sticks just during the COVID or whatever to hospitals. And hospitals will use this, right? So it's like, that's what I think. It's like that legit, bro. To replenish patients whenever the patient's gut can handle it, right? And if they don't have any more bag IV. So like, yeah, bro, it is like real deal Holyfield. And it's just something that you hear about, you know what I'm saying? I heard about it on a podcast, and then I might repeat it. You know what I'm saying? If I repeat it, then boom. And I don't know, like the algorithms out there, like, man, they're definitely able to set up something based off of like, oh, hey, notify the company if this, on our platform, YouTube, because obviously they'll be able to, they run all the audio through there, whatever Spotify has ever said or anything like that, then they go, oh, Spotify, hey, Nick sent Millan plugged you. You might want to send him a donation or something like that. And that's the way it goes. Instead of like, hey guy. You got viewers. Can you plug our thing? Can you plug our thing? We gotta sell. We gotta sell, baby. Hate that, bro. Get out of here with that.
The agenda.
Get out of here with
the agenda.
Let me holler. You wanna give me a thank you? That's fine. But I ain't doing
Make it casual.
And the point is, buddy, is that I'm doing it right now anyway. So why ruin it? You know what I'm saying? Or why?
Yeah.
Why? The conversation is the most important thing to me, and
what matters.
So, yeah, I'm not gonna. Like I said, we're talking about working out, whatever. Or you go, whoa, what's that? What's that funky thing that?
Whoa, kind of cool.
Oh, bro, it like folds up. It like folds down, so you can have it into your little.
What in the world?
Look at that! Yeah.
You kidding me? Whoa, that's amazing.
It's really, I don't know. It serves no great function to me other than like sometimes I can take a little sip and then finally fit it in my Camelback when I'm walking. But that's a nice little bottle. But yeah, anything like that. Then I'd just be like, oh, what's this? And then if somebody's listening, like while they're working out or whatever, they'd be like, huh. You know what I'm saying? Or they're sitting around, they're like, huh, what is that? Huh, what is Whoop? What are they talking about? So yeah, I don't feel the need to do any ad type stuff or anything.
Not gonna sell ourselves. Not gonna sell anything.
But speaking of like working out, I know you gotta go watch something here soon, huh?
Oh yeah, fights are coming on, baby. Got some good fights on tonight.
Ooh, I've got movie night with old gal. That's right. I'm fired up about that, buddy. No, not that. I'll tell you what. Yeah, it's a little bit different being in a relationship, but
yeah,
I dig it.
I believe it.
I dig it. I think.
Good for you, buddy.
Man. Well, the deal is eventually you're gonna have to make a choice, right? And you know.
At some point, yeah.
You know, like
at some point in
time.
What are
you gonna do? Die alone? What are you gonna do? Die alone? Like, are you gonna be single?
Yeah.
Dude, being single, anything past like 40 is like
40.
Yeah,
it's a different world,
I don't know where the cutoff is, but it is like
that would be rough.
It is a sharp hard. You go straight. You go from young buck to like, hey, got a little salt and pepper. You know what I'm saying? Like 30-year-old guy to like got a little salt and pepper to creepy old guy immediately. Like so. Yeah, for
Depending
sure.
on how you age.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't take care of yourself.
We're young. It doesn't matter. I actually think that I'm pretty, you know, and you know me, especially with the way that I've lived my lifestyle up to this point. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, relationship was never a thing for me, man. So like, it's pretty early, I would say. It feels really early, like in my life, but like I'm very happy for that. Like I gave great thought, obviously, to like, man, am I going to go ahead and lock it down? You know what I mean? Am I in this one? And we've been together for like more than 2 years. So like 2.5 years. So,
wow.
So like why I just say like, yeah, I'm not, probably not going anywhere. Why would I? She's a good one, and we're gonna rock and roll, baby. You know. So.
More power to you.
But I'll tell you what, as our friend old Alan Woodard says, you gotta slay dragons to get to the princess. I found my princess, man, and I had to slay many a dragon. You know what I'm saying? To get here, we have been around the block, my friend, but no more. So keep on slaying your dragons, and eventually a princess is gonna pop up, buddy. But
I'll play all those dragons. Don't worry.
all them 2 to 4. That's my range. No. Yeah, I guess we'll talk more about like. I just wanted to say more about like the new information on working out, man. Like diet, bread is bad. Carbs are bad.
Tough, but it's bad.
Humans, and I look at things. I try to look at things, and what's crazy is like the new information is based off of like all the world coming together, right? And what all the world knows, right? All the third world and everything, right? Everybody, but you know, dummy educational system, America or whatever. Like the Japanese, they know it, man. With their Mediterranean diet, they're real clean with their stuff, you know. And the keto. You know, has vegetables.
You don't see too many like overweight Japanese. You just don't. You don't think about that. You don't think about them as being like.
Well, they eat natural foods. That's the deal. Is they just eat natural foods and
very healthy.
I base all my workouts. And I base all my different stuff off of like these shoes that I got. I brought them over here.
The toe
These
shoes?
are like $35 on Amazon. These are like, you know, those Vibram barefoot shoes.
Mm-hmm.
These are the off-brand Whiten, and they're just the same, bro. They're great. They like they're flat, right? So like they feel like a barefoot, but they have like
sounds amazing. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm not stepping on stickers and thorns and shit when I'm walking.
Yeah, you can feel your feet a little bit.
Yeah, but I have like great stability in the gym.
Those ankles stabilized.
When I'm, yeah. But
Well, I'm definitely down to talk about all the fitness and whatnot. I have definitely another thing, I think probably next time that I'm going to want to get to as well that I think ties in a little bit with the fitness and some other things we talked about today.
Well, what is it? Let's just do it real quick. What's up?
Real quick? Oh, no, it's not a quick topic.
No,
it's
too long?
All right, well, I guess I'll just ask the question. What do you think is like the highest form or the best form of intelligence that you can have? What do you think? There's 9 different forms of intelligence.
Well, I don't know them, so give me a couple. Like,
just guess. Just like if you had to pick something out of thin air, then like what would you think? Don't say math.
No, dude, I would say like people skills probably.
Yeah, emotional intelligence, and interpersonal intelligence, being able to tell what someone's thinking across the room without really talking to them, like that kind of intelligence. That's what I think too. Like emotional intelligence is definitely up there as far as like the best kind of intelligence you can have. It's just your basic ability to be able to deal with people in general, and get the best out of whatever the situation is. I think there's a lot of lack of that throughout the world, I would think. But yeah, no, there's the math intelligence, like how you work with numbers. There's and interpersonal intelligence. There's existential intelligence, which is like how you view like the big, like deep questions and things like that.
Yeah, if you had to pick one, just like
philosophers
see through life, it would definitely just be social skills. Because like, like kind of like what I said when we said last time, like politicians, Wall Street guys, car salesmen, real estate agents. Ain't nobody got a degree in those fields. You know what I'm saying? It's 100% hustle. So like,
plus they're good at dealing with people.
And it's 100%
good at dealing with people.
Yeah, it's 100%. Like, yes, and it's 100% give and take, business talk, transaction, whatever you want to call it, like in whatever field it is. Yes, it is dealing with people and trust. It's being able to establish trust, and that's why successful people in those things are successful in that, because they build trust with their customers. Otherwise, nobody's going to buy big buck stuff off somebody they don't trust. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and that goes. And what's crazy is like, what's funny is it's almost like if you go get a degree, right, in anything having to do with people, right, like all these like social critical thinking, critical race theory, stuff like that, like your gender studies, stuff like that, you're gonna be the worst person at dealing with other people on the planet. Like, so it is not, dude, it is not a thing that is taught. It is a thing that is learned through experience.
It's kind of a new thing. Like people haven't always been very good at dealing with that kind of stuff. It's kind of like the past 30, 40 years, we really started trying to pay attention to things like, emotions and like what's going on through other people's heads. And it's almost just basically like the science of seeing things through other people's perspectives and being able to, like, as the saying goes, put your feet in their shoes. But
yes, and that's what I was gonna say, is like, it's people have a real problem of not being able to understand someone else's point of view and perspective and where they're coming from, and like, because they're only thinking of themselves, and like
it's crazy how bad people are at that.
The deal is it's like I guess it's like an ego thing. Like, man, unless you get into something like the Army where your face is in the mud with someone else, and or jujitsu or something like that, where you're getting your butt choked out, you know what I'm saying? Like, or I guess in real life, man, it's because people are through the screen a lot more, man, and you wouldn't say the stuff you're saying on Twitter to somebody's face, and like, because if you did in real life, if people were out there living their real lives, and that's what maybe they're not, or doing at least doing less of it, and then when they do, they're having the conversations like we talked about earlier, like in passing, like, hey, what's up? How are you? Good. How are you? Oh, what's going on with it? Boom. Okay. Have a good day. And it's not like we don't get deep. Like, we're just now, like, I know we got to go, and Lauren's giving me looks over there too, but But like we're just now getting deep, dude. And like, man, the deepest that you go. I remember, man, I don't remember if we were like smoking or something or whatever. I think we were like back in when you had your
say like an
house
old man?
when you had your house in Prosper.
Yeah. The days.
We were out there on the trampoline, bro, and we were just looking up at the stars. Like, bro, we went deep. I just remember that was a deep conversation, and like, yeah, people don't have the time to do it, and that's why I hope things like this will be more popular. And like, no, you need and exactly what you're saying is people need that emotional intelligence. They need to be able to look at dude.
See, they need to be able to
look at things from your perspective on like almost anything when you're dealing with anybody else but you or anything else but you. You cannot bring your one perspective into it. You have to bring your perspective and get ready to absorb as much information as you can about whatever's going on and make your decision based on that. That's how people. Yeah,
gotta be all perspectives.
Yeah, and that's how.
Whatever your entire life experience.
You can't make the same moves either. So like you got to be. That's what I'm saying. You got to be aware of open information. And the deal is you can't. As what I'm trying to connect to your point is, people don't have the emotional intelligence or whatever it is to see first how someone else, like when someone's having a conversation, they're like you're just thinking about what you're going to say instead of listening, because that's when you learn, when you listen to somebody else and then you learn. And even if it's talking about stuff that you know, right? And that's what I'm saying is even if it's talking about stuff like even if it's you talking, right? If you listen to what they have to say about what you have to say, then you will still learn, right? Even if they don't know anything of what they're talking about. Like even if like I barely watched the debate and you were talking about the debate more. So I was trying to listen and I was trying to learn what you thought and whatever. Or when you're talking about like stocks and stuff and I'm talking about it, hearing what you have to say makes me, it may give me a different perspective. I may change my mind.
It's that bounce back of conversations and whatnot.
Well,
where you get more out of it than just the A and the B.
Yes, we're limited to one textbook a year, buddy, in school, and that's what cracks me up about how schools and yeah, you can't. The educational system doesn't teach too much, but so that's why a lot of people don't know a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't know about stocks, they don't know about emotional intelligence, they don't know about things like that. But
it's kind of a new thing
to like one textbook when there's the world of information out there now, like on the internet. So like, that's what it's like whenever you bring just your perspective into something, and because that person that you're talking to, buddy, I tell you what, I've got some smart people that don't have degrees. They're dumb, they sound dumb as a box of rocks. But I'll tell you what, you will pick up. You will even from like the swamp dudes in Louisiana. I tell you what, you will learn things. You may not be learning things about. You can always be learning, right, from other people, right? And it takes emotional intelligence to understand that, I guess. But you might not be learning rocket science, you know what I'm saying, from the welder. But dude, that's where you learn about the life. He'll teach you about some life stuff.
He can teach you something
about hard work and perseverance.
You got to take from his experience.
Yeah, and then that's why you have to talk to other people, just like I'm gonna talk to other people, not just like you, right?
You will
I'm
grow.
Sure you'll talk to other.
Grow so much more.
Yeah, and you talk to people that have dude. If you talk to somebody that sees things at an exact opposite point, I'll put it like this. Lauren is in many ways the polar opposite of me. You hear about these relationships that have, they have everything in common and this and that. It is not us. Like we share some common values and we enjoy some of the same things, but on a lot of things, like if we were to start talking about it, we would disagree, right? But that's why I'll tell you what, I'm sticking with her or whatever, but it's because I have learned
a lot from each other.
So much off of just having to like take a step back and think about like, how am I going to, instead of, and this is just being in a relationship, right, too, but like, or let's just say a conversation with somebody you don't agree with, right? Take a relationship out of it. Translate what I learned from that to just a conversation with somebody I don't agree about. If you're having conversations with people you only agree about, right? Or if you're looking at the same stuff or if you don't have many conversations with people, right? And then you're only looking at stuff that's online or like whatever it is, right? Basically, if you're only bringing your one side to it, like you're, if I take what I learned from that and I can deal with other people better that I disagree with, right? And the better I can do that, and the more that I do that, and the more that I disagree with somebody, my point is that the greater the difference, the more the opportunity there is to learn from that person. And it may not be
absolutely.
And I'll tell you what, it may not be learning stuff that you need to know, but it may be learning stuff that or it may not be learning stuff that you of like, oh, what do I need to do? It may be stuff of like, oh, I'm learning what not to do based off of this person.
Yes, exactly.
Big, yes, like
that's a big one. People don't do that.
A lot from this person. They're talking a lot of, but you won't know that unless you listen to them. And if you listen, like that's the thing about the debate too. If Trump would have let Joe Biden talk more, then you start listening to him and realize that nothing makes any sense. So, like, man, this person really
you gotta let other people screw up for you a little bit sometimes. But yeah. No doubt. It's more than just about learning from your experiences or the experience from the person across from you. It's about learning as much as you can from everything that you come in contact with as possible. Like everything that is around you. If you could try and draw from all of it, then you will just learn exponentially more than what you would have. And
yes, because you know why? Because you're limiting. It's like you're a textbook on the internet, man, and that's about, I don't know what ratio of information is in a textbook to what's on the internet, but like, it's about the blip that you are as a person versus everybody else on the planet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a blip.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, what you know is a blip, and what I know is a blip. So, like,
what we don't know is huge.
Yes, sir. Yes, and that's the deal. Is like, man, the more and you could really get into like spiritual, past life, learnings, family,
everyone's connected. Like life is a net.
You can really get into all that. But yes, like if you know that, then you know, right? If you know that you are a blip, then you are not going to, like, people's egos are just too big, right? Because
it takes the pressure off.
They feed what they think, right? So like if they think left or they think right, all the things that they're going to listen to or whatever, and they're only going to surround people that think the same way or whatever. Like, no, that's the same crap you hear from, like,
screwing yourself
when you're a kid, is like surround yourself with the right people,
over.
And the right people are going to talk about. They're not going to talk about partying. They're not going to talk about. They're going to talk about stocks. They're going to talk about investing. They're going to talk about this. They're going to talk about that. They're talking about working out. And you're going to get
the right thing.
Yeah, you surround yourself with the right people. Put yourself around different people to learn from them as well. Like,
even if it's bad people, learn what not to do for bad people.
Oh, you definitely want to learn from your enemy.
From anybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like, you could. It's like a ultimate truth, like a human truth type thing. Like what we're talking about right now is like, dude, if you, and the, like, I don't know, I've never read The Art of War, you know what I'm saying? But in something like that,
I've read it.
Tell you, like, know your enemy. Like, know your enemy better than you know your friend. Because, like, it does not benefit you to know your friends.
Turn a blind eye.
Yeah, know all your friends' weaknesses. But if you know all your enemies' weaknesses, then, you know what I'm saying? And
it's not even just about that. It's about knowing what's going on around you. It's about being conscientious. It's about being aware. It's about being fully aware of everything that's going on around you and within you.
Yes, and with each decision, this is what Jordan Peterson talks about this. He's a good one. Jordan Peterson. He talks about, like, do what's right for you now and in the future. Do what's right for you and your family and your community now and in the future, right? So basically what that means is, dude, and that's what you learn that's what you learn wearing a green in the Army, boy. You learn to freaking make your bed and tuck them corners. But like, dude, yes, you do. And you hear from all the coaches, right? Do the little things, DTRT was like, I think I have to do the right thing. Like, man, yeah, when you start doing little things, right, better, and you start blah, 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 and it'll go over and over. And the way to grow, right? And the best way to do things is to do things that are going to be good for you, right? Like, I'm gonna mow my lawn so that, because it'll make me feel it's my responsibility, and it'll make my wife feel good that our house, or my girlfriend look good that our house, right, is looking good, and it will improve my community by making the community look good, right? So like things like that, every little decision, like the point is the decisions that you make don't just affect you, right? So once you start treating it like that, or once you take a step and start treating yourself like someone not of you, the point is like people's ego is too much, man. And if you think people need to get humiliated, because if you get humbled, if you get humbled, then you will understand that you are a blip, and that everything else that's going on is way more important than you, right? So
whenever you get humbled, that takes the ego out of the equation, and the ego is one of the biggest obstacles that stands in front of people between what they are and what they could be.
And only then, right? And only then can you start doing great things, right? Once you start doing things that are good for you and your family and your community now and in the future, because man, you can't, everybody is too worried about, everybody's too up here, right? And everybody needs to get humbled. Everybody thinks all they talk about is like the federal government, this and that, or whatever, all the big stuff. You got to talk about small stuff, man. You got to, because you cannot, I promise you cannot affect what's going on in the federal government or your state government if you don't even, if your community is crap, if your mayor's not backing you, if you're, you know what I'm saying? And you can't do anything in your community if your family isn't backing you, because if your family isn't backing you, then odds are nobody else is, right? So, and you got to take care of your family. And then before you start taking care of your family, and before you can start taking care of anybody else, just like people say, Justin, are you still there? Kennedy, you there? I think we lost Kennedy for a second. Okay, you're back. I lost you for a second. Oh, still out. Oh, damn. Lose old Kenny. We lost you for a second. Did you have to move?
Yeah, I think I got down to like 0.5% and started whacking out.
Oh boy. All right. Well, we're wrapping up anyways, man. I just wanted to finish this point of like.
That was good stuff.
Well, I want to finish the point real quick.
Please do.
Like, it even goes toward like you can't. Where did I lose you?
I think you lost me whenever we were talking about how you gotta, if you want to make big changes, you gotta start with the small stuff. You gotta care about the little things, like your mayor, what's going on in your hometown, before you can start really seeing and affecting the big issues like your federal government or politics or things like that.
Well, it's like the same. Okay, even in like a relationship, right? Like if you are not, you can, like everybody will say it, right? Like you got to take care of yourself before you take care of anybody else or whatever. Everybody in the hood will say that, right? Like take care of you first, fam, all that, whatever. But like, yes, like you take care of yourself, you get your stuff together, because if you don't have your stuff together, you're going to hurt the person that's closest to you. Right. So, and you need the people that are closest to you, because you're going to leech off them somehow, right? You're going to be leaning on them somehow. Right. So you got to figure out, you're going to be a burden to them somehow. So you got to figure out how to be independent in yourself, right? Then you can start figuring out, right? And also, you don't have the right to be able to say anything to anybody else until you have yourself figured out, right? And nobody will figure themselves out completely, whatever. You get what I'm saying? Till you kind of get your stuff together, right? Like you can't, you
got to know what's going on, like, with yourself before you can really understand what's going on outside of yourself.
Right. And that's not what this is us telling people, you got to do it this way, that way. This is just a conversation, man.
We're just trying to figure it out ourselves.
Exactly.
We're just figuring it out.
But that's the deal, is like, if you're not at least, if you're not even in that mindset, then you're definitely not there. So I feel like as long as we're in the right mindset, you're good. Right. So, and that is another thing you'll see is like, oh, broke. I saw it just the other day. I can't remember it, but it was like some thing on Instagram. Oh, broke mindset, broke whatever equals broke. But as long as you got the right mindset, eventually it'll equal success, right? So like, no matter where you're at currently. So, but you cannot say anything to anybody else. You can't start worrying about, if you can't even make your own bed, man, in the morning. Like, how are you gonna go take care of your mom? How are you going to take care of your family? How are you going to do that? So then, if you can't take care of your family, right, which you only have like probably a few family members, how are you going to start taking on problems in the community? And if you can't take care of problems in the community, how are you going to start taking care of problems in the state or talking about problems in the federal government? So yeah, you're right. You do have to focus on you first, but that means bringing your ego down and seeing the world and seeing everybody else's perspective and seeing how wrong you are. Because everyone is wrong. Everyone is wrong on something. And like, people think that, oh, no, I'm right because this is, no. Like, you don't know. I don't know either.
One of my favorite quotes kind of comes to mind, and it kind of pertains to this subject in particular. One of my favorite quotes ever, it's on the first page of one of my books somewhere where I like write down all my shit. But the quote goes, "He is not better than me, and I am not better than anyone." And I feel like that's a really good mindset to have whenever, and that kind of like, it goes with anything, pretty much.
Well, man, you will get smacked in the face by either, if you're not thinking correctly like that, right? If you're not trying to see things from other people's perspective, if you're not open to new information, if you're stuck in your own head, you will get slapped in the face by either somebody on the street that you decide to talk to wrong, or slapped in the face by life because you're doing the wrong things, or you name it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you will be humbled. Do not worry. And just like Mr. Harvey Weinstein or whatever, who acted like
that guy.
I mean, bad guy. Okay, we'll just say bad guy. Okay, not a good human being. He got it at the end, man. Like, it is going to catch up with you at the end, and it always does.
No doubt.
Yep, and
no doubt. Can only last so long. But if you're on the right side of things, that's just,
it's the mindset, man. Yeah, it's like, God dang, you might be in a cave, metaphorically, but like I said, man, that cave, you're gonna stumble around, you're gonna do this and that or whatever, but like, you will come out the other end. You will finally see that light from the corner, and you will kind of stumble your way a little bit less as you get there, and you will stumble less and less as you get there, and finally you will be sprinting in the light out of that cave and on with your life. You know what I'm saying? But like, man, sometimes
we are learning how to walk in the dark.
Well, it is a dark world out there, man. Dark is in, like, just like what we were talking about, man. What we know is like, what is out there is like this, dude. So like, there's a lot to contend with.
We're only getting started.
We're only getting started. To live. Yep. All right, buddy. Well, we'll leave it at that. If you're still watching or are watching at the end of this, I don't know. I'll put this up everywhere. So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, whatever. Kennedy, I think in the beginning of this, we're going to be just me and you a lot. Or you'll be on a lot is what I'm trying to say. Like,
no doubt.
But That's because I like what you had to say. What's it called?
Well, I hope so.
But yeah, man, we'll do it again. Hopefully, I'm trying to have Ryder come on tomorrow.
Oh, really?
So that'll be a little different. Yeah, he's a dork,
guy.
but
a guy named Ryder. Well,
I
I can't wait for that. I absolutely cannot wait for that.
Yeah. Well, like I enjoy them with you, and I wanted to do them with you at first because you're my best friend, obviously, and you're out there with me. You don't know what we're doing, and
my boy Blue
starting up or whatever.
You're my boy Blue.
That's right. But all right, man. Well, this is the Nick Sam Millan Show. I'm Nick Sam Millan. Have a good night.